The story starts with a young girl named Melanie. She is sitting quietly in a small room that is locked from the outside. Melanie is in a wheelchair and waits silently. Two soldiers enter the room, gently tie her arms and legs with safety straps, and take her out. In the hallway, we see that other children are also being taken out the same way. This place is actually a military base where many soldiers and some special children live. The kids are taken to a classroom where a nice and caring teacher teaches them. Melanie is not just any girl. She is very smart, even smarter than the other children. The teacher is very impressed by her and likes her a lot. After class, all the children are taken back to their rooms one by one. Even though these kids look normal, there's something very strange about them. At night, their dinner is brought to them, but the food is not normal. It's full of worms. What's even weirder is how the kids eat it happily, like it's their favorite meal. The next day, the children are given some schoolwork. Melanie does an amazing job, and the teacher feels closer to her. The teacher starts to believe that Melanie is special and different from the others. She even begins to act more friendly with her, which makes the security team worried. A senior officer arrives and warns everyone that getting too close to these kids is very dangerous. To show the danger, he wipes off a special cream from his hand and puts it near one of the children. As soon as the child smells the officer's skin, he becomes wild and angry. The other kids also start to act aggressive. But when the cream is put back on, they all calm down again and are taken back to their rooms. That night, the teacher sees Melanie is still tied to her wheelchair. She calls for help, but no one comes. So she decides to help Melanie herself. But something strange happens. The smell of the teacher's skin starts to make Melanie act different. She tries to stop herself, but she can't help it. Her urges take over, and she suddenly attacks the teacher. Luckily, the teacher runs away just in time and puts the special cream back on to hide her scent. The next morning, instead of going to class, Melanie is taken outside. There's a big fence separating the base from a scary group of zombie-like creatures. These were once normal people, but a bad fungus got into their bodies and made them lose their minds. Now, they're always angry and try to attack anyone they see. Melanie is taken to a science lab. There, she sees a brain in a jar with a number on it. It belonged to a classmate who is no longer alive. Melanie realizes that the doctors are doing dangerous experiments on kids like her, and that it can lead to their death. Before they do anything to her, the doctor gives her a medicine to make her sleep. Just before more tests can begin, the teacher comes into the lab and tries to protect Melanie. But soon, security guards come in and take the teacher away. The doctor tells everyone that his research is important because it can help create a cure to save the world from the infected people. Suddenly, chaos breaks out in the base. One of the infected people sneaks in and bites the doctor's assistant, who quickly turns into another zombie. The doctor runs away. Melanie is still tied up on a lab table, but the zombies ignore her. That's because she is not fully human. She is a hybrid, which means she's part human and part infected. So the zombies can't smell her like they do others. Using this chance, she breaks free and escapes the lab. Outside, the base is falling apart. Soldiers are trying to fight back, but many are being hurt or killed. Melanie sees her teacher being held by guards and runs to help. She fights the guards and saves her. The teacher hugs Melanie with relief. Soon after, an army truck arrives and both of them get in. Inside the truck, the doctor is still working on his notes. The zombies start chasing them, but the truck drives away quickly. One of the soldiers becomes nervous when he sees Melanie. He points his gun at her, thinking she might be a threat. Before anything bad happens, Melanie is asked to get off the truck and sit a little far away. While she rests, the doctor tells the others that Melanie might be the key to a cure. Hearing this, the officer in charge grabs Melanie again. He ties her to a chair and puts a mask on her face to stay safe. Later, the group stops by a river to get some water. Out of nowhere, a large group of zombies attacks them. During the fight, one of the soldiers gets bitten. When the soldier who got bitten tried to get back in the army truck, the leader told him he couldn't come inside. Soon after, the bitten soldier changed into a zombie. Then, the truck wouldn't start again, So the group had no choice. They had to leave the vehicle and walk on foot. As they kept moving, they reached what was left of London. The city was broken and ruined. They were hungry and needed food, so they started looking for something to eat. The sergeant used binoculars and saw a store ahead, but something was wrong. The place was full of zombies standing still, not moving, just watching quietly. To stay safe, the group put on a special cream that hid their human smell. They walked very slowly and quietly through the crowd of zombies. Luckily, they made it to an old building without being seen. Once inside, they tied Melanie up again just in case, and the doctor sat across from her. Melanie started to ask questions about who she really was. The doctor told her a big secret. After a strange fungus spread across the world, some pregnant women gave birth to babies who were not like normal kids. These children were part human and part infected. They were called hybrids. Even though they were different, they could think, feel emotions, and learn things, unlike regular zombies. Melanie was one of these special kids. The doctor believed that Melanie could help create a cure to save the world. That night, everyone stayed in the building to rest. In the morning, they made a plan to move forward, but there was a big problem. Right under the building, many infected people were sleeping. Melanie said she would go first to make a safe path for the group. She found a dog and let it run near the zombies. The dog's smell got their attention, and they followed it, moving away from the path. Her plan worked. The others walked behind her and got out safely. Outside, they saw many infected people who had died. Strange plant roots were growing out of their bodies. The doctor explained that this was the next step of the fungus. It would grow big pods, and when those pods opened, tiny spores would float into the air. These spores were very dangerous. They could destroy the rest of the humans on Earth. Soon after, the group found a building that used solar power. It was an old army base. One of the soldiers said he would go find food, but Melanie said she was hungry too and decided to go instead. She caught a bird and ate it. While walking around alone, Melanie found a house. Inside were other children like her, hybrids, but these kids had lived without any adults. One of the kids gave a signal, and more hybrid children came out. Melanie quickly realized they were planning to attack the soldier who had gone to get food. She ran back to tell the sergeant and the teacher. But while she was gone, the soldier walked into a store. It had supplies, but it was a trap. The hybrid kids attacked and killed him. When Melanie came back with the others, they were too late. The soldier was already gone. Outside the store, the hybrid children were standing, watching. Melanie stopped the sergeant from using his gun. She walked up to the group. She tricked their leader by using his own ropes against him and hurt him. The other kids got scared and stepped back. Melanie helped her group get away and led them to a science lab. Back at the lab, they saw the doctor wearing a mask. A strange gas filled the air. It was made to make everyone fall asleep. The doctor wanted to use Melanie's brain to make a vaccine to save people. But Melanie didn't fall asleep. She stayed awake and warned the doctor to stop. The doctor was trying to save humans, but Melanie saw things differently. She had realized that the world had changed. Humans had lost their place. The hybrids, kids like her, were the future. They would be the ones to live in this new world. Melanie then locked the doctor inside the lab, so she wouldn't be hurt for now. But soon, the hybrid kids who had killed the soldier arrived. They surrounded the doctor and ended her life. After that, Melanie went to the place where the big fungus pods had grown. She burned the vines and the pods opened. Spores went up into the air. This meant that no humans could live anymore. The old world was gone. Later, even the sergeant had become infected, and before he turned into a zombie, he asked Melanie to help him die as a human. She did. Melanie went back to the safe part of the lab, where her teacher was. She told her everything that had happened. The teacher sits in the sealed lab, heartbroken about how the world had ended. But Melanie had brought all the hybrid children to her. Even though they had never learned from grown-ups before, the teacher, who once helped Melanie, would now help all of them. And that's how the story ends.